all you freaks out there, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Ooh. Happy Hanukkah. Happy Kwanzaa.
Well, we could just
Happy
cover it by saying Happy Hanukkah Kwanzaa.
Yes, and Happy Krampus night knocked. It says Rhonda to the stage here.
It's Krampus knocked?
Hello. Yeah.
Yeah.
I am a big fan of Krampus for some reason. I don't know why. But
it is Krampus knocked, but the real holiday, it is National Bathtub Party Day. So
yeah. Can't do it at my house. My tub is way too small.
Bathtub party. Woo! There's also International Ninja Day as well. So, I mean, we have all the bases covered tonight. We are celebrating all the holidays. International Bathtub Ninja Party, Krampus Night. You can't beat that. How are you guys doing?
Good.
I'm doing a lot better. Rhonda and I were talking earlier, and it just seems like this last month and a half has just been like that steamroller that's run me over. But, I ended up getting my steroid shot in my back. And apart from the fibro pain, I really don't feel anything. And then as far as being sick, I mean, I took 2 COVID tests and they were positive. But who knows, tests can be negative, false positive, but
true, but it's better to be safe than sorry,
Yeah.
And,
one thing I noticed with my COVID test, whenever I took it, like it did not take 15 minutes to determine. It was like within a few seconds, it was positive.
Yep.
It didn't play around. It wasn't confused at all. It knew what I had going on.
The thing that's been hitting me is the COVID itself was not bad at all, but what's laying me up is the recovery. Like I have no drive to do anything. I'm lethargic. I'm tired. I just lay in bed all day. And that's been that way for a week.
That's how I was when I had COVID. I was just didn't feel like doing anything. That's why I was kind of thankful that Angie had it, because RJ and I both tested positive for it. And then I was like, oh crap, what am I supposed to do? I mean, I don't want to move. And RJ had I don't know what kind of COVID he had, but he was not tired. He had the exact opposite. He was just nonstop. I was like, this house is going to probably get burned down around me. And I would not care. I would probably be like, all right, well, at least I'm warm. Because
it hits kids different.
Yeah. I was looking forward to a break when he got COVID, but I didn't really get that. That's probably bad for me to say. Sorry, guys. Hey, Howie. Let's see. We've got CJ in the backstage area in the green room.
Bring her on
to the show here. What is up, CJ?
Hi.
Hey there, CJ.
Just got home from dinner, so.
Nice.
Were you celebrating Krampus night at dinner tonight, or
are you having dinner in your bathtub?
Right.
I was out shopping for a new Christmas wreath that I'm working on for the craft show, and one of the brothers from my lodge reached out and said, "Hey, there's a family dinner tonight for the lodge. You coming?" I'm like, oh, okay, sure. He's like, be there in a little bit. All right.
Right.
So we went out for dinner and went to a steakhouse and had dinner with a bunch of the brothers from the lodge. So
nice.
You can't be at a dinner at a steakhouse. Yeah. I would totally. Yeah, that's a great way to celebrate International Ninja Day.
Right.
Is a trip to the steakhouse. So good on you. That's awesome.
National Bathtub Party in the steakhouse.
Yes. Yes, and celebrate the life and times of Krampus as well. Give a shout out to Krampus. This is your night, buddy.
Yeah. Right. May your bag be full of children, I guess.
Exactly. Oh man, I'm gonna do something different, something new. I'm gonna give a paranormal shout out to. I'm gonna pick different teams each week give a shout
Okay.
out. This week is Creeping Cincinnati Pair Forensics out of Cincinnati, Ohio. So go check out their page, give them a like, and
Nice.
tell them the freak sent you.
Right.
All right.
And they'll be like, who are the freaks? What are you talking about?
And we all get blocked for being stalkers.
exactly. I'll get a restraining order put on me. You know, cops will show up at my house. You know, the usual stuff. The Freaking Awesome Paranormal Show is sponsored by Dutch Soy Country Candles. You know, the best part about Christmas is making your house smell good. Maybe it's not the best part of Christmas, but it's a really
and the
good part of
ambiance
Christmas.
of the lights from
It
the
is.
Right.
And you can make your house smell good with all natural soy candles. CJ, you like your house to smell good, don't you?
Yes.
There's the
Yes.
black teak wood right there. That's my
There you
favorite.
go. Yes. I had the sugar cookie one going and earlier today it made me want to go out to the store and actually buy cookies because I felt like eating the candle and I'm like, I can't do that.
We have the chocolate fudge going, the
Ooh,
chocolate fudge brownie going. Man, that's dangerous.
it is.
It's like
It
that
is,
and
'cause-
anything sugar cookie, man. It's
Yeah.
like
Right.
I want all the sweets then.
I'm more of a I like the spice candles, like the holiday candles, like the Christmas, the pine tree, like the cookies, the cinnamon spice pumpkin pie. Those are my favorite types of candles. The flowery candles are kind of strong. Some of them are okay. I can deal with it. A lot of times it might give me a headache, but like soon as like September gets here, I break out the pumpkin spice
Mhm.
candles and stuff. So this is really like my favorite candle time of year. What are your favorite types of candles? Like what kind of flavors or scents do you enjoy smelling?
Usually me, I like
Um,
the clean scents, usually, like like clean or linens
Like
or
linen,
anything that
yeah.
smells beachy. But I got a candle for fall it's an all natural one. It wasn't from Dutch Soy, but I am gonna get some Dutch Soy. But it was called Apple Cider Donut.
Ooh, that does sound
And it
sound
smells
good.
Those are
so
good.
good. So
That
good.
does sound good. How about you, CJ?
I actually was being an 80s kid recently when I found out that the company that I was going through did a line for one of my favorite cartoons when I was younger, Strawberry Shortcake. And they made a whole
wow.
line of strawberry shortcake candles. So
Nice.
I
Oh my
bought two of them, and one I think was a peach scent and the other one was the strawberry one. And so I was burning those, but I don't know, something's wrong with them, like the wicks short out too quickly. So I haven't been able to burn them lately without the wicks almost going out because the wax fills up too much and almost covers the short wicks on them now. So I think I burned them down a little bit much.
That is let's see, my Wi-Fi's connection is unstable. I don't know what that means.
Just like the
My,
rest.
yeah, just like the show was unstable.
Yay.
My sister had the strawberry shortcake baby doll, right? And if you squeeze it, it blew like a strawberry scent out of its mouth. And I would sit there just like huffing it like I was doing drugs. When I was like 10 years old. It smelled so good.
I still have my entire strawberry shortcake doll collection, the little figurines from
Yeah,
the 80s. I have the originals.
That's
that is
cool.
awesome.
Yeah.
God, it smelled so good. I like the blueberry one the best. Maybe blueberry pie or blueberry muffin or whatever her name was, or Huckleberry
Yeah.
Finn. How about you, Sia? What is your favorite candle scent?
I like anything to do with like the backwoods, like evergreen or wintergreen or those woodsy smells, outdoor smells.
Like teak wood?
Yeah, teak wood
Yeah.
and all the normal, well, not normal because I'm not normal, but
No. I mean, that's
Outdoors-
normal is
outdoors-
overrated.
more like I mean,
What a scary place to be, normal.
Yeah, I know,
Right.
right? That is not what we are for sure.
Oh, I totally get that outdoor wood smell though, because when I buy unpainted wood and I do my projects on it, I love the smell of that cut wood before I paint it. Like just the smell of it actually being wood instead of the cheap stuff.
CJ
Oh.
buys lumber to huff wood.
There was actually
I
there was
I
actually
did the same.
there was actually a candle, a Yankee candle called 2x4. It was like a Father's Day. They had like a man collection of candles, and one was like leather, like a leather chair. One was like mown, like freshly mowed grass, and another one was 2x4, and it smelled like if you took a thing of like a bag of pencil shavings and stuck your nose into it. Basically, what it smelled like. It smelled like wood. So if you enjoy the smell of wood, that would have been the candle. Actually, there was the one called On Tap, which was a beer
Oh, nice.
flavored candle, which
It smells like a Dean Winchester candle, huh?
or when you go to a party and there's beer spilled on the floor and
Yep.
it's that old beer smell. That
Oh,
is
great.
basically
Frat house smell.
yeah, exactly. The floor of a frat house smell, pretty much. Those candles did not last very long, but
My
Right.
Yeah, I
friend
would call
runs
that
a-
the scent of Dean Winchester.
oh,
Yeah.
there we
Leather,
go.
spilled
Exactly.
beer, and new car smell.
Yeah. My friend runs a metaphysical store, and I was there this weekend for a little bit, and she actually made me a pendulum board, and she burned it with one of those etching things. And they were all laughing because as soon as I get it, the first thing I'm doing is smelling it because it smelled like fresh wood burning. So I was sniffing it too. I like the smell of wood.
The freaking awesome smell show. Hang on, I gotta share this out to somebody. Whoop. We're Sarah, who we had on the show a couple last week. Was it last week? It was last week. We had her on the show.
Mhm.
She's trying to figure out how to watch the show, so I'm going to send her the link.
Cool.
Boop. All right, there we go. Now she can join the fun. So we're going to do EVPs or electronic voice phenomenon.
Mhm.
I messaged CR like, do you want to do reactions or do you want to do supernatural news? And she's like, let's go EVPs. I'm like, okay, let's do EVPs. So I'm gonna get CR to play his totally awesome EVP. Are you gonna play the one that you captured at the school?
Yeah, I'm going to do the schoolhouse. I have probably, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them, and I only caught activity on the schoolhouse, as far as I know.
Okay,
And as far as EVPs
a good one
go,
though.
yeah. As far as EVPs go, these are kind of crude because I'm learning, but yeah, I can go ahead and play the school if you want to hear it.
Yeah.
This is Chris, 11:24 a.m. in the District 96 one-room schoolhouse. Is anybody here? Is the school alarm here? Anybody's here? What you mean? Just wanted to thank you for being light and happy and teaching all the children that came through this building. Have a good day. This is Chris. So that was the school, and like you heard, it was from the 1800s. It was a District 96 one room schoolhouse. And the site that I captured this at is Dakota City Heritage Village, which is here in Farmington, Minnesota. And it's a conglomeration of buildings from all around the state, pretty much, that have been brought onto the Dakota County Fairgrounds and saved from the wrecking ball. And I've got feelings in all of those buildings. I've been out there. I've never felt anything dark or something that wants to hurt you. It's always light and jovial and maybe a little mischievous, but that was pretty much the only activity there that I have caught on EVP.
Now, it may have been hard to hear on your phone, but what was captured was basically it sounded like children were playing right outside the window of where you were. I did hear what sounded like someone talking. Was there somebody there, like close by?
No, I was the only one in, and the door was shut. All the windows were shut. I was the only one in there.
Wow. Well, that was interesting. That was a really
I
cool.
heard you laughing.
You did? Yeah, like they were playing.
Yeah, you can hear what sounds like children giggling and playing.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah. Sarah from Pungo Paranormal, she said she definitely heard that. She said, holy crap, I definitely heard that. So that is awesome, man.
Yeah. And that place, so that's when that's right around the time that CJ and I started Spirited Investigators Paranormal. And so I was, we live in different parts of the state. Well, she lives out of state, but
I'm a couple hours away.
Yeah, a couple hours away. So we've done investigations, but they're solo and guest investigations, and then we throw the evidence at each other and kind of break it down. And, oh, did you hear this or did you hear that? So
yep.
She's heard a lot of this stuff, and then usually when I go on site, I'll take a bunch of pictures, and she can sense stuff out of the pictures that I take. And
yeah, it can get really weird sometimes.
The biggest one was at Dakota City. It was the blacksmith shop.
Yeah.
I took a picture of that, and she's like, do you know if there was a, taller, older gentleman that, was gruff, but was like a teddy bear? And I did research, and I talked to our site supervisor, and she was like, oh yeah, that was Bill.
Yeah, that was
That's
a really
cool.
weird thing, because it was like there was a movie playing in my head of that building, and I kept seeing him duck out of that building, and it was like, this was a big dude, and I was like, but I know he's not, like, the feeling he gave was like he was just a happy dude. Like he was one of the softest teddy bear people. Like if you wanted a hug, he was the one that was like, okay, come here, I'm gonna give you a hug. Like this was that dude. And I was like, where is this coming from? But I kept seeing the same guy going in and out of this building, and he was just this big dude, but like soft-hearted guy. Like there's something going on there. I don't know what that is, but yeah. And that was the first time I've seen that happen with a picture. I've never gotten things off pictures before, so that one shocked me.
Really?
That's really cool. That's
it
amazing.
was a new thing. I was like, where did that come from? And then I got a few other things from other pictures that he showed me. I still can't explain the railroad one, though, that you showed me with that hallway. That still doesn't make sense to me.
Oh, at the museum that I work at now.
Yeah. Yeah.
I sent her a picture of the front entrance, and she was like, I have no idea how anybody walks through that door.
Yeah, like super loud. It was like one of those places where you would cup your ears and just be like, oh my God, it's loud. And then there was one other place that you showed me too. It was like a hallway, and for some reason I kept seeing flood. Lots and lots of water, flood. I don't know why, but like there was water like rushing down this hallway, but there's no explanation because it's never happened.
Right.
Maybe you look
But I
at
kept
something
seeing the same
that
thing.
might happen in the future.
Maybe. Yeah, I don't know.
You know?
It was like I was standing in that hallway all of a sudden. It's like my brain jumped to that location, and I was standing in that hallway, and there was all this flood of water coming at me. And I'm like, what happened? What is this? There was a flood at some point. There was water rushing towards someone at some point. And he
It could
said,
have
no,
happened
there's no
before
history of that.
before the place was built. Maybe, I don't know.
Oh, yeah, that's possible. Maybe, but yeah, it was kind of like, it was like being in a hallway on the Titanic, and there's all this water rushing at you from this hallway. Like, oh my God, I'm going to die if I don't get out of here, was the feeling. It was the strangest thing. Still can't explain it.
Well, that is pretty creepy. Next time you do that schoolhouse, you got to do a live or something so I can check it out. CR.
Yeah, for sure.
probably won't be out there till spring, but because they're just doing their holiday in the village last weekend and this weekend, and they're shut down till spring.
And that little jail cell thing there is a powder keg waiting to explode.
Yeah.
There's something not right about that place.
I've spent many of hours in that jail as an interpreter. So in the Wild West clothing, and I can tell you, it's an uneasy feeling.
Yeah, because when you showed me the pictures of that, it was like boom was how it felt, like that it was waiting to explode. And I was like, okay, well, that's not good. Too much energy, way too much.
Right.
It was like putting water into a container that was too small for it, and like hoping it's not going to blow up. It was kind of insane.
That's crazy.
And then there was one other building that he showed me. It wasn't at that location. It was a different one. I think it was like on an army barracks or something. I can't remember, but there was this old house. There's this old house that was there. And he showed it to me and I was like, oh my God, I can't even look at that place. What is wrong with that place? And I was like, this looks like a place out of a horror movie. Like if I go to that building and open the door, there's going to be like a big monster with machete standing there trying to kill me. Like freaking Freddy Krueger or Jason Voorhees or, whoever is going to come running out of this building, like trying to kill me. That's what's wrong with this place. What is that? And I never could explain it. Do you remember that?
I don't. That might.
It was kind of a creepy old building that was there. Remember? And I was like, the way it feels is out of a horror movie. Like,
yeah, I don't know what site I showed that, because I don't think it was Dakota City.
No, it wasn't. I think it was some old, what was it? An old army barracks or something that you had shown me pictures from? Something.
Yeah.
Some kind of base.
Yes, I think like maybe Fort Ridgely or something like that.
Okay. Yeah, I just remember you showed me that and I'm like, whoa, nope, I'm not going anywhere near that place.
Right.
Wow. Well, there's definitely someplace I need to come visit when I go up to Minnesota. Right. And we'll take our road trip.
We'll have to make plans to meet up there and go to some of those locations and figure out what's going on.
Definitely. Well, this next EVP is one of mine. Since you guys are into the Civil War, this was actually captured at Cold Harbor Battlefield.
Yeah.
Angie and I had gone out to meet a friend of ours out there, and we had pulled up out and went to one of the parking spots on the battlefield, and we started a necrophonic session. And I asked what happened out here, and you hear a voice saying, "It's in the museum."
What happened out here?
That was
you hear it?
Day. Clear as day.
It was like he was standing right there.
Yeah.
That was they're still like, it's so like, nonchalant about it too. You're like, it's in the museum. Why asking me for?
Right.
And so I thought that was pretty neat. And this next one is actually recorded at Bell Nemus Plantation. And if Howie's still watching, this is one of I think it's our third investigation out there. And we're in the dining room area. We are setting up the home base, or the con, as we like to call it. And you hear two children playing around the dining room table, but there were no children there at the time.
Yeah, I'd like to see that. We would have caught it in one of the other rooms too.
There you go. Did you hear it?
Jeez. It was like they were standing right next to you.
I know.
That's insane.
I was kind of like my situation where you know,
Wow.
Yeah. I felt bad because the kid was like, hear us because we're important. Like, I don't know, maybe they've been trying to communicate with people for so many years. And they're finally like, look, listen, we're here. We're important too, you know?
Yeah.
well, you know how it is when like adults get together with their families and the adults are in a room doing their the adults are in their room doing what they want to do, and then the kids are feeling like they're left out, so they'll go up to the adult and try and get attention.
Yeah.
I think that's probably what that was.
Yeah. Or imagine you're a kid and everyone just ignoring you for so long. And finally, they're like, all right, listen, we're important too.
Yeah.
You need to hear us,
Yeah.
you know?
And, you get a lot of stuff like that on EVPs. We've done Hamilton High School, which is a high school that was built in 1910. And when we were investigating the auditorium that was there, we got an EVP. John got an EVP that said, they're watching us, meaning us watching them.
Yeah. They
watching
knew
us.
you were there. Yeah. That's really cool. That's intelligent right there. That's awesome.
Yep.
That is really neat. And do one more of mine, and then we'll do the compilation ones. So this is I was doing a cleansing with Dennis, and it was a man, his wife, their dog, and Dennis and I. And you'll hear the guy saying, Sadie, come here, because I think the dog was acting up. And you'll hear what sounds like a young man saying, shut up, old man.
It's Old Catholic Church. So this isn't just a layman that doesn't know what they're talking about. Come here.
You hear it?
Yeah.
Oh, yep. It was kind of fast, like, shut up, old man.
Shut up,
Yeah.
old man.
Yep.
I guarantee that was
Yep.
not any of us saying that.
No, you guys would have remarked on something like that.
Kind of sounded a little aggravated too. It was a
Yeah,
Oh,
when
yeah.
he was tired of someone's shit.
Yep.
Yeah, I think it was whatever was fucking with those people was not happy that we were there.
It's probably pissed off at Dennis, knowing that Dennis is ordained.
Yeah. So I wasn't sure if he was mad at Dennis or mad at the guy for, scolding the dog.
Yeah.
Probably mad at the guy for scolding the dog.
Yeah.
I would say
That's
that's
what I
more
was-
than
that's what
likely
I
because it
was
was
thinking.
after he got after the dog.
Yeah,
Right.
that's kind of what I was thinking.
Probably like, leave the dog alone. Jeez.
Mm-hmm.
Sarah's like, that sounded like a teenage boy. It does.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure
It
because
did.
they have a son, and I'm not sure if it was his energy, because sometimes he's still alive. But just like Randy in the rancher,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, it could have been his essence.
Yeah, exactly.
CJ and I were kind of going through some of the evidence from what was it, the latest
The investigation that those two did.
Oh
Did
yeah.
anybody go back and listen to that?
I haven't had a chance to yet, but I'm gonna.
Oh my God. Okay, so 1 hour and 9 minutes and 36 seconds in, if you go right to that spot and listen for about 30 seconds, a man's voice comes up and you can't understand what the first part is that he's saying. But after that, it sounds like he says, and later I'm going to be with you. And then something, and then I'll be with you. And then it cuts off. There's like a full freaking sentence right there.
Was it D&M Paranormal?
Yeah. Yeah, it was the one that you posted last night. I went to listen to it, and they didn't even remark on that full sentence that came out of the box. I was like, how did they not remark on that? That was insane. Right. That was a full sentence.
And we heard Melissa say her name a couple of times?
Yeah, she said her name quite a few times. There were quite a few questions, and you could hear Melissa.
Yeah. She
Yep.
does quite often.
Mhm.
All right,
Yeah,
I'm
and
gonna
then there
try-
was a voice that said killed at one point, which is really quick. Killed.
Yeah.
I'm gonna see if I can find that. We listened to it live on the show.
Yeah. Go to 109.36. That's right about where it starts.
109. So it was there. We're at 109.37 now. Okay.
Yeah, so probably 109.36. It's right about there where it starts to pop up.
Okay. One go. All right. So 109. We'll start at 109.23.
Okay.
I love hugs. It's a big old bear hug you give me. Thank you. Can you straighten the rods back out now? Please? All the way. Oh my God. Thank you. Can you please point the rods back and forward?
Holy shit! I hear that.
Yeah, you
I
heard
will
that.
be with you.
Yeah.
Yep. And later, I will be with you. And then right after that, it gets kind of choppy a little bit, but then it sounds like, and then with you, and then it cuts off.
Mhm.
There you go. All the way forward.
I'll be with you, and then it ends. And then in a
Go
couple minutes,
forward
you
all
hear
the
that
way.
same man's voice say like one word.
You're
Right.
strong. I know you can do it. There you go. You want to
I can't believe no one mentioned that because that's
Yeah,
like
there was no remark about that whole sentence.
I guess maybe since it's kind of a long live that some people start to tune out when it gets close to the end. But
But I mean, the people that were investigating, they said nothing.
Right.
And it came across the voice box. Full
Yeah.
sentence.
You know,
Yeah,
no,
it's
they were clearly using dowsing rods, so they were probably so into that they weren't
Right.
paying attention as much to the box.
Yeah.
probably one of those things where they'll have it live, but then they'll go back and review
Yeah.
it and be like, okay, because they're paying attention to other things.
Yeah.
But,
Right.
I mean,
But yeah,
was
that was incredible.
Yeah.
that
Pungo
was
it said-
Paranormal.
wild.
It said
Oh,
something,
yeah.
and I was like, what the heck was that? And then it's like, and later I will be with you, and then something, and then and with you, and then it cuts off.
Pungo Paranormal was saying that it sounded like a teenage boy.
It sounds like an older man to me.
I think he was talking about the EVP that.
He's talking about
Oh,
put
that
out
previous
there.
one?
Shut
Yeah.
Up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The shut up old man, that was a
Mhm.
Right.
boy.
Okay.
That was a teenage
Yeah.
boy. This one we just listened to was an old man. It sounded like someone who like the voice reminded me of someone who like speaks like at church when he's giving sermon.
Yeah, it's kind of like an old timey voice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and the way he says it too. I will be with you. Very dramatic.
Right,
Very
right.
theatrical.
Yeah.
Very much like a sermon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Which
what it reminded
comes-
me of, was like an old preacher that was like, and God will be with you and with you. And that's what it reminded me of. But this one said, I'll be with you. So I have to wonder, was it a spirit saying, I'm going to hang around and maybe attach myself to one of you guys later?
Right.
That's creepy in the brick ranch.
Yeah, it is.
Especially if it's in the basement.
The only thought that I have is, Ryan, you said that land was very integral during the Civil War, and
Yeah.
the North and South pasts.
Oh,
What I'm thinking is just before battle or on Sundays, they would have the Christian Commission come out.
oh,
It could
okay.
be, yeah.
That makes a lot more sense now.
Yep.
And then there's a line. Do you remember where it was, Chris, where there was a line just before that where she says, where do you guys want us to go? The basement? Do you want us to stay in the basement? And there's just like this ha 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 laugh. And I was like, that was creepy.
Yeah, that was earlier on.
Yeah, because they were deciding where to go next, if they were going to stay in the basement or move to a different area. And you just hear this ha 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 ha. I was like, no,
Yeah.
no, that
I
was creepy.
I was sitting on my bed with the lights on, and I got the goosebumps.
Yeah.
Whatever's in that basement attached itself to heaven and me. Oh, I remember that, Sarah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's it. And that's what it is.
Yeah.
Whatever it is not human.
No.
Yeah.
It's never been.
I got that too when I was
not
watching
human.
some of the videos that he sent me and some of the pictures and stuff. I was like, there's something not good there. but there's a second entity that's down there too, that it's hiding it's hiding itself in a corner, and it's projecting things out to people to make them more scared
It
of
mimics.
what's down there.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it has a tendency to mimic other people's fears, and also has a tendency to manifest itself as whatever it thinks you will understand, be it a man,
Yeah,
be it a
'cause
woman,
it's
be it a child, be whatever.
right, right, because it was just this entity, and it was like it was hiding back in this corner away, like, "Leave me alone." But if you got anywhere near it, what I got was it's projecting images out to people to scare them off. Just it was
Oh.
kind of that, leave me alone, here's what I want you to see to make you leave me alone."
So my question is, I know there's something that likes to hide around the back of the stairs there.
Mhm.
Is there another one that likes to hide in that the hole in the brick face there on the other side of the room?
Well, I think it's all just the same one.
Yeah, I
So
think
they
it's the
kind
same
of moves
entity.
between the two
Because it doesn't stay in
places.
one spot, it moves around that whole area back there,
Right.
but it makes you more scared than you should be. It projects images out at you to make you more scared. So the question is it actually a demon or something negative, or is it that thing?
Right.
Is it
Well,
that thing being able to project something powerful, but maybe not demonic, maybe just something there to scare you?
yeah.
Sarah.
Even watching that investigation last night, I got an uneven feeling when I saw where they were in the basement.
Right. If you listen at the very beginning, there's a voice in there that keeps interrupting the other spirits that are talking. You can hear it interrupting and trying to stop them from talking.
Sarah
So,
says it's a tall man with an evil smile. It looks like the guy, the mask from the movie The Black Phone.
Yeah, I agree with Sarah. Every time I've been down there, it's not human. It's never been human. It's more of a, I'm not really sure. I've heard a couple things when I was down there from other spirits, like maybe like a shapeshifter or something of that nature, but it really feels like it's probably elemental and something.
yeah, because
Maybe from the natives that they created to,
that's also possible.
yeah.
Skinwalker.
Yeah. It could be something that they placed on the land to protect the area or to curse the area after people tried to take that land away from them or something. That's always possible. But yeah, what it basically told me when I watched some of that was I project things out to scare people off. Leave me alone.
Yeah. So yeah, Sarah says it's from the natives. So
That's
yeah.
Most
that's my
likely.
guess as well.
Yeah.
So
Well, let's see what you got from YouTube there. It'd be interesting
let's
to
check
see
them
what's
out.
out there.
let's see here. So this is the first one is we're gonna go away from ghosts and we're gonna go into the Bigfoot territory.
Sweet.
Aha.
It says the Bigfoot in Oregon screams heard late at night on reservation video. This is a 4-minute long video. So I'm gonna go ahead and play the whole thing. All right.
Get creepy.
All right.
Kind of sounds doggish, hyena-ish, but you can hear it going off in the background right now. It's really kind of strange, just to say the least. It's been going off for about 15, 20 minutes so far by the fire station. And it's pretty crazy. So if you can listen, that'd be crazy. Hold on. I mean, that almost sounds like laughter.
Kind of like a hyena.
Yeah, can you imagine?
That
If
to me
you're-
screams Wendigo.
It's something else. I don't know. That is like a
Yeah,
very loud, again, laughing sound, like very shrill, almost like like a monkey sounding. You know, you hear it in the woods, jungle, I guess.
Oh.
Really doesn't sound that Bigfootish to me.
No, it doesn't. No. I actually think it might be a stretch, but the old legend of Coyote the Trickster. I almost think it might be that too. That or a Wendigo. I don't remember skinwalkers having the ability to scream like that. So I don't think it's a skinwalker because I've never heard any skinwalker legends where anything screams.
Right. But it could be Coyote. I mean, because he liked to like you said, Coyote the Trickster. He
Yes.
was always up to mischievous stuff.
Right.
This is Navajo legend.
Right.
What do you think, Rhonda?
I kind of agree with Sarah. Sarah just said it sounds more elemental, and I have to say I agree with that as well.
Yeah. And it could be that if it's Coyote could be an elemental that was summoned as well. So
yeah, I've never heard laughter associated with Bigfoot. Like in anything that
I did on Mountain Monsters, but then that show was like super, super fake. So
right.
Yeah. So the next one is called the scariest EVP scream ever recorded. So that's a pretty tall order to live up to. Let's see if it's the truth.
Hey everybody. Once again, I'd just like to give you just a little bit about what you're hearing and what to expect. This was recorded in my sister's bathroom in an apartment complex in Folsom. Now, it wasn't an old apartment complex. In fact, it was probably no more.
This was in his sister's bathroom.
What is it with ghosts in bathrooms? I've come across a lot of ghosts that are in bathrooms.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Come on. What?
Little pervy there goes, come on.
Hopefully they can't smell because usually bathrooms stink pretty bad.
Yeah. Serves them right for being in there in the first place.
Right.
More than 10 years old. It was a pretty nice place, but my sister had a tendency to conjure or bring about some of the really, really bad ones, you know? And so anyways, she always felt really, really uneasy in her bathroom.
Yeah, why would you conjure a ghost in your bathroom? That's kind of a weird place
Are you sure he was talking about conjuring a ghost, or did she just have Taco John's?
Well, that's probably what it was. Taco John's. That's supposed to be
some bad ones there.
Must be a Minnesota thing.
Play stupid games, win stupid prizes.
Yeah,
basically.
Do Ouija board in the bathroom. That's fun.
So one night, when I had the chance to stay over, I had set this recorder in her bathroom, and I had let it record overnight.
That's creepy.
And you're gonna hear her baby was, only a few months old back then, and she was crying a lot in the middle of the night, and we were all completely sound asleep. We all slept right through this. Nobody heard a thing. And there's this clicking sound, and you're going to hear it. There's this constant clickety, clickety, clickety. I have looked everywhere in that bathroom, and I could not find anything that would make that noise. I just don't know where it came from. But the scream, this scream is the most blood-curdling, crazy, scariest, really just strange scream I've ever heard. And it's not like a scream that's off in the distance and you're like, oh, somebody screamed. No. This shit it's loud, okay? So just be prepared. You don't need to have your speakers up really loud to hear this. Okay.
Holy
Jesus.
Wow.
That was a I'm gonna die scream.
Yeah. I have to
That
wonder if maybe there was a
creepy.
murder nearby, and what she ended up with was the victim.
Right. Like, like he said, it was a newer apartment building, but there's always history on the land. It could be a replaying of something that happened.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
That was freaky. I would not want to hear that in
that
my
one gave me
bathroom.
chills.
Yeah.
No.
Was it the scariest EVP scream ever recorded? I don't know about that.
He was building up,
but
on
it was definitely
in the bathroom, maybe
a scariest EVP scream he ever recorded.
Right.
But having it in your house like that, especially if you're not into the paranormal and if you're trying to raise a kid and
Yeah.
that's
See, that would be
pretty
the
freaky.
scary thing. Not the fact that I hear it on EVP, but the fact that I'm raising a child and that's where we're living.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine
That
being
makes it
awake and
more
actually
scary,
hearing
yeah.
it yourself.
Right.
And there's nothing there to explain why it happened or how.
Mm-hmm.
God, that would be.
I mean, of course, you can go to the Department of Records and get the record of history for that plot of land, but it's not going to tell you everything.
No.
Sometimes you don't want to know.
Yeah.
You just kind of
Sometimes you're better off.
better to just ignore
Right.
it and hope it goes away without having really digging into the history of the place, because sometimes it's better not to know.
Right.
Yep.
Hope it's a one-time thing and just move on with your life. Let's see here. We'll finish this out. Well, here's a video caught by Shadows Abound, which you guys had on your show, Rhonda, on Sunday. So I'm gonna give a shout out to them and play something they captured. It's not really an EVP; it's more of a visual thing. But
Okay.
here we go.
So full spectrum.
Yo. So something above Greg in the ceiling flew down.
So what do you think that was? That floated around?
Looked like an orb, but you know what people say about orbs,
Dust and bugs mostly.
right?
But that was a
Do
little
it
weird.
again, Ryan. Do it again.
All right, it was an interesting shape. I will say that.
Yeah, it was.
Right there.
What the heck?
Because he kind of stayed still. Then
Yeah.
falls back down again.
What the heck?
Kind of
It
long and
almost looked coily like a snake.
yeah.
But for a second there, it almost looked like a smoke, just not a lot of the smoke.
Right.
Like a ring of smoke.
Yeah.
Right. And then as it turned, it looked like it was coiled like a snake.
Kind of ectoplasmy, but
Yeah.
So that was a weird one.
It's definitely up to your interpretation, guys. You want to check out Shadows Abound. They're on YouTube. They got a bunch of cool videos on there. And if you want to hear some good interviews, you can listen to our interview we did with them on the Freaking Awesome Paranormal Show, and you can listen to their late interview with Howie and Rhonda on the Orion Effect. That was
not that kind of show, Ryan.
Yeah, I know. Well, that's a little Freudian slip there. That was recorded on a Sunday night, so they're really good guys. So go check them out.
Yeah,
and also, D&M Paranormal. That is where you will find the live feed we just watched from the Brick Rancher. Yeah. Sarah from Pungo Paranormal, which is also on YouTube. Go check them out. She says she was about to say ectoplasm. It could be. Yeah. I mean, just the way it kind of hovered for a little bit and then went up and came back down again. So,
Ryan, what was the name of the gentleman that we interviewed? He was a past security officer.
Oh, was that? Oh, God. His last name was Runyon.
Yeah.
Oh, crap. He's a good guy. I feel bad for Jason Runyon, maybe.
He had an EVP. He was a security guard at a cemetery. And he would go around. He'd have to lock up the columbariums and the family. I forget the name for him. The family crypts. Yep. And he went into this one columbarium building, and he was talking to a kid, and it was like the kid was right there. It was just insane.
What I should do is we should do one day is, or some like next year, we'll get a bunch of guests. We'll message a bunch of guests we had them on before and tell them to send us their best EVPs,
Oh,
and
that'd
we'll
be
Oh
play
yeah,
them
that'd be cool.
Yeah.
and react to them.
Mhm.
I'll get them to, then I'll put them on YouTube and we'll do like a playlist type thing.
Oh
Because
yeah.
I would love to hear that more clear. Because I think he played it, but it wasn't very. It was, I don't know. It was good, but I love to
Right.
give to a wider audience.
Yeah.
That might be a fun thing to do. Let's see here. Here we'll start. We'll play the 6 terrifying ghost EVP recordings and see what they sound like. What do you guys think?
Yeah.
Do it
All
up.
right.
Number 6, We're Not Dead. In January 2010, the American Paranormal Research Association was conducting a paranormal investigation inside the Linda Vista Community Hospital in Los Angeles, California.
Which is no longer there.
The hospital originally opened in 1904 and was prosperous, providing patients with things like butter, eggs, vegetables, poultry, and fresh milk, something no hospital did at the time. In 1924, a fire burned it down, but it was rebuilt and functioned well for decades. But by the 70s, this place began its decline, and soon the neighborhood around it also became less affluent, which affected its funding. This directly led to the decline in the quality of care workers there, as well as doctors. It was officially closed in 1991, and stories about the mistreatment and abuse of patients became rampant. After it was closed, the hospital became a center for paranormal investigations and was also used in various Hollywood films. Guards there reported seeing shadows and hearing weird humming sounds and even cries in the night. Those who visit have also said they've been pushed and touched by unseen hands. In particular, there are 3 reported spirits that haunt the hospital. This includes an orderly making the rounds, a little girl seen crying, and a young woman pacing the hallways. When the paranormal researchers conducted their investigations, they were exploring the basement area when they recorded an unusual EVP. They inquired how the spirits were actually connected with the hospital, and surprisingly, they actually got a response. Here is the audio in which you can hear the voice say, "We're not dead."
How are you associated with the hospital?
Would you hear it?
Yep.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's pretty neat there. I remember watching the Ghost Adventures episode that was at the Linda Vista Hospital. Old hospitals are just creepy,
They are. They
you
are.
know, even more so than like prisons or places like that, just because of like all the different kinds of people that were in a hospital. I mean, prisons, you're pretty much the same kind of people with some exceptions, but most of the time they're not good people. Otherwise, they wouldn't be in prison.
Right.
But hospitals, there's so much, like there's joy, there's sadness, there's just, so all different walks of life have been in hospitals. So yeah, old hospitals are definitely
All kinds of energies in hospitals. And, I have a friend who was a nurse, and this is kind of on topic, but a little off topic, but she, was a floor nurse, not a nurse, but she was an assistant. And she said there were certain rooms on that floor that if people went in it, you knew they were probably going to pass away in that room. So then it made me wonder, it's like, does that kind of energy stay in there? She said there's definitely certain rooms where there was always more people who passed away.
I bet there was definitely some crazy energy in there for sure. Let's see.
How are you associated with the hospital?
Number 5, I'm not done here. In 2011, paranormal investigators explored the Cafe Sports House in the greater Manchester area. It wasn't always a pub, but was first opened as the Roxy Cinema in July of 1929. The auditorium had a distinctive circular seating area that featured raised seats, and it was capable of accommodating more than 900 people. The Roxy closed down in 1965 and was boarded up for several years before skateboarding became popular, and it was transformed into a skate park. Eventually, it was changed into a squash club, and then into the Cafe Sports Pub that it is today. It has 3 floors, a massive cellar that is now a gym, a bar, and a huge bingo area that has remained fairly the same as before. For a long time, those who have explored and occupied the place have reported hearing noises coming up from inside the cellar. Shadows have also been seen in another hot spot around the corridors near the bathrooms, and a mysterious man has been spotted close to the end area of the bar. Investigators have reported unusual phenomena while inside, including seeing moving objects like punching bags swinging on their own, and even tables levitating into the air. Perhaps the most controversial and terrifying experiences was when investigators captured an EVP in 2011. It was recorded while investigators explored the pub, and in it you can hear a whispering voice telling the researchers that they are still in fact a presence in the establishment. The people standing next to the recorder at the time did not hear anything at all, and it wasn't until it was examined after that the whisper was finally heard. Here it is so you can judge for yourself.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, that is like, I don't know if he was doing that for effect, saying it like that, but
He
it
might
definitely
have
got his point across.
yeah.
If
He does not sound like a happy camper.
talk like
Right.
this,
Yeah,
it might get your attention.
that's not a happy camper. He was not a happy man in life.
No,
No.
not at all.
No.
But
Mm-mm.
that just made me have a thought about the scream in the bathroom before that clip, because they may mention here, of course, this wasn't heard by audible ears, and the
Right.
guy said that nobody there heard anything that night. They all were sleeping or whatever. Who's to say somebody didn't go in that bathroom to use the bathroom and that's why they were screaming?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Or maybe
They had to witness what that person did in the
Yeah.
bathroom.
Exactly.
Or maybe
Yeah.
somebody walked in on them using the bathroom, the paranormal bathroom, and they're like,
Kind of like Bugs Bunny pretending to be a lady and doing the scream and putting up the towel.
Right.
yeah, exactly. It's like, it goes back to what the EVP at Bell Nemus, they're still there.
Yeah.
Or the old man saying, "I'm not done here." The little kid saying, "Hear us because we're important." They're trying to get our attention.
Right.
Yeah,
it also makes me think of, like, when I think about a spirit being invisible and nobody can see them, and they're like, these people are actually looking for us. Hey, we're right here. Hello.
Yeah.
That's what it makes me think of, as he was really, really getting his point across.
Right.
So either he just really wanted their attention to get noticed, or he just was a very angry man.
Well, and a lot of those too, if there's not a lot of energy that they can pull off of,
They're really trying hard.
Right, they're
Yeah.
trying hard. So
Oh,
when you hear a whisper and you can hardly tell what it is, they're yelling.
Oh yeah.
That's why we tell people not to whisper when they go on a public investigation, because because they usually come through as whispers.
Oh yeah.
And I was wondering,
Not
like,
always Class A EVPs. It's rarely Class A.
You know, sometimes you'll hear stuff on like ecto necrophonic, and or like a spirit box that doesn't sound like words; they kind of like sound jumbled. And I'm wondering if sometimes a spirit was trying to talk with us, but the words come through the plane as jumbled up, or maybe they come through backwards.
Yep.
And we can't understand them.
Right.
Because they're on a different frequency than we are.
Yeah.
Lost in translation.
Yeah, that or they're just trying to scream it. So like you're losing it because they're screaming it because they're trying to make you hear it.
Right. And it's like their voice is coming across as garbled nonsense when what they're hearing when they're saying is coming across as words, so they can't understand, like, why didn't you hear that?
Yeah.
And
why don't you know what I'm saying?
Usually when they're crystal clear is usually when they can pull power off of something.
Yeah.
There's enough energy source there for them to do that.
Thanks, Howie, for trying to share us out. I guess we're on my Facebook page. I think we're on my Facebook page. Let's go back to the other one we had before. Sarah said the same thing on Hospital Roanoke. They call it the death room. The nurses just know their flatliners will be in there. And I think Sarah, he was talking about sharing the show out. But I will definitely share you guys out for sure.
We are also live on my mind with CJ and CR Facebook page.
We are all over the place tonight. Let's see.
We're everywhere.
We're
not done here.
We're taking over.
Not yet.
No. Yes, we have got a few more EVPs to listen to, and then we will be done.
But I don't want to go to bed.
I don't want to go to work tomorrow.
Would you?
I think this is going to take a while, so I think we have a little bit of time left.
Yeah.
Help us. Sitting on more than 1,000 acres of farmland, the Athens Lunatic Asylum, otherwise dubbed as the Ridges, has always been considered controversial and haunted. In Ohio, on January 9th, 1874, the asylum first opened its doors, and throughout the years has welcomed thousands of patients. The main building alone had 544 rooms, and as time went by, many more areas were added as the building was expanded. Some of the later additions included a tuberculosis ward, gymnasium, and even a dairy barn. The building was designed so that the less severe patients were placed near the central area where they could receive interaction and socialize. Meanwhile, those who were more severe were relegated to the outer fringes of the building, far away from the exits and entrances. However, as more people started coming in, family members were dropping off not only relatives with illnesses, but also their elderly. As overcrowding became an issue, so did the quality control, and the care soon declined. Doctors and caregivers began to resort to primitive techniques, including shock therapy, water therapy, and transorbital lobotomies. These were some of the most dangerous treatments conducted, and they resulted in many deaths. Moreover, the living conditions were also horrifying, with some patients left restrained for months or even years at a time. With such a long and troubled history, it's no surprise the Ridges is dubbed as one of the most haunted places in the United States. Those who have explored the area report seeing a ghost dubbed as Mary walking the halls late at night. Reports also come in of people standing behind them when they're looking in a mirror. The most famous story, however, is that of a female patient named Margaret, who went missing and was later found dead in an abandoned ward. She was found in the nude and determined to have died of heart failure. However, it took nearly a month before her body was ever even found. It was badly decomposed at that point, and it had melted into the floor, leaving a stain that some say is still present today. More than just a paranormal experience, investigators also managed to capture several EVPs. In this first one, you can hear a man scream, and this was recorded in a former padded room at the asylum.
Yeah, some of it. They used to have pads and stuff in there. Yeah, some of it. They used to have pads and stuff in there.
See, I'm not sure if that's a scream of pain or a scream. It sounds almost like sounds like someone trying to scare.
Yeah, like rah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like that. Yeah.
It sounds more of a surprise.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's just the sound of somebody crazy. Just screaming
Right.
for no
Someone like
reason.
Could have
like
You
when
know,
you
he's
see
in a-
like movies
he's
where
in
they're
a-
like pulling their hair out like all over the place.
Yeah, he's in a
Yeah.
padded room.
right.
So I mean,
And those
Yeah.
are crazy just in the way they are. I used to be a pest control tech, and I had to go to. It was funny. It was a mental hospital, but it looked like a daycare center. It was single level, and I actually had to go and work in one of these padded rooms, and that was creepy.
those pictures are creepy.
Yeah.
Of what
Did it lock the
history of,
door?
like,
No, I didn't want to be. The guard was
Oh,
like, I
God.
can close you in if you want to feel what it's like. I'm like, no. I put my bag between the door and the door jamb.
Oh,
Why, yes, I am Looney Tunes. Please lock
Yeah.
me in.
it's always good to be on the safe side there. I think Howie. I think Sarah misunderstood what was going on. But we explained the whole situation, and I think everything's worked out here. Let's see here.
This next one is a woman saying, "Will you help us?" And you can clearly hear it. We'll play it at regular speed and then enhance so you can hear it even better.
Enhance.
That one is not as clear as
No.
It's hard to
some of the
hear.
other ones.
Yeah. It sounded better the first time instead of the slowed down version. The slowed down
Yeah.
version warped the sound.
A lot more background noise in the second
Yep.
version of it. That's hard to
Yep.
hear. But even the first one wasn't.
Oh,
wasn't
you can
great.
hear her sadness though.
Yeah,
She wants out of there.
yeah. And just imagine again
Not
going
as-
back to I'm not done yet, and with hear us because we're important. These people have been trying to communicate for years, and
Right.
the fact that they know they're still there and they're asking for help, and they're caught in this perpetual
Yeah, and they
cycle.
can't seem to break out of it and understand that they can leave at any time. They're
Right.
not
No.
being held there.
I
Well-
mean, and that's hard to think that they're doing that in the afterworld, because
Yeah.
what would we do if we were in their situation? I mean,
Yeah,
That's so
maybe-
heartbreaking. I hate those ones. The two things I hate the most is people asking for help there and you're like, you don't know what you can do to help them really. And children. Those are the two that break my heart, is those please help us type ones. And then hearing little kids in a place where it's like little children should not be
Right.
stuck somewhere. They should be
yeah.
leaving and heading to wherever their family is.
Like
That
I've
was-
heard.
What about you,
But-
Rhonda?
I was gonna say that one was a little harder for me because it wasn't like it was it wasn't an intelligent response. It was a response that was picked up. So it
Mhm.
leads me to go, was that actually like a spirit that's not passed on, or was that just a residual something from what had been there before saying, would you help us? Would you help us? Would you help us?
It could be like maybe always looking for a nurse to help
Yes.
Right.
them or something like that.
Yep,
Let's
that
see.
too.
Let's go to the next one.
Number 3,
Halfway done.
Get Out.
That's always fun to hear.
Perhaps
Yeah.
Dublin's most haunted landmark, the Hellfire Club sits atop Montpellier
Oh, of
Hill.
course.
The abandoned building has had a long, storied history, and today is a very popular tourist attraction. William Conley initially built it as a personal hunting lodge in 1725. It's said he used the stones from an ancient burial site to build part of it.
Oh, there's your
After he
problem.
passed away, the structure was rented out and became
how you
known
get a
as the
haunted building.
Hellfire Club, which was a gathering place for men to partake in lewd and
Oh, the
immoral
Hellfire.
acts. Rumors began to spread that the club was a frequent site of animal sacrifices because the group was involved in satanic rituals. They were also accused of kidnapping a farmer's daughter and even cannibalizing her. But it didn't stop there. People began to tell stories about how the group drank nonstop and even made a pact with the devil himself. And it's because of this that stories of the paranormal are so high at this location. Today, the stories about Hellfire Club and the countless hauntings that have beset the structure since it was abandoned still persist. Paranormal investigators who visit here talk of many strange occurrences, one of the most unsettling of which is the fact that actual EVP recordings have been captured by investigators while
Zach
exploring the
Bagans?
interior.
Yep.
Oh,
The
God.
most famous was captured by the Kilkenny Investigative Paranormal Society. The group captured a voice on a recording telling the investigators to get out. It's been enhanced so you can
As
hear
one
it
would.
well, and it will send chills down your spine.
Okay, I'm gone.
Ooh.
I mean, it sounded like one word. Like, get out.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm sorry. Yeah, if
Yeah.
I hear that, I'm gone. It just,
Yeah, that's nope.
Catch
Bye
me
bye.
later.
Nope.
Yep.
Mm-mm.
I mean, it is a private club, and they're not members. So yeah,
Right.
Oh,
And
yeah.
it's possible that it's angry too. And I have my suspicions that the things that people say happen there didn't happen there.
That's what I was thinking. I
Right.
think a lot of that was made up because people weren't allowed to be a part of it or weren't
Yeah.
invited. That's
I
when rumors start up like that.
My
And they're
suspicion
sacrificing
is
people.
it was a Masonic temple.
Mhm.
Yeah, that makes
And
sense.
when people don't get initiated and involved, kind of like the King of France didn't get to become a Templar, so he was a little bit pissed off. They make up stories.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'd be surprised how many people have told me that because I'm a member of the Masonic Order, I must be part of devil worship or some stupid thing that I'm like, really? Okay, so tell me what you know about the organization. Oh, right.
Yeah. Well, it's like even me. I'm part of the Sons of the American Legion, and there's people that go, "Oh, well, you guys are like a cult." No, we're not.
No. And they're like, "Oh, Masonic is a cult too." I'm like, "No, it's not." First of all, cults usually have one leader. There's no leader,
Right.
and they
No,
usually
no
want a lot
hardcore
of money. We pay one small fee per year, and all of the money that we raise goes to charity. So, nope.
Right. Have you heard of the Shriners?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna have to keep on going here because otherwise we'll be here all night.
All right, Taskmaster, crack the whip.
Dude, I am tired and my back is killing me. This chair is not the most comfortable chair to be sitting in.
Oh,
for
I
more
know.
than
I have
4
another.
hours, so.
I have another bulging disc in my back. Don't remind me.
Oh,
So I might be making some old man noises when I get up out of this. Thing.
I
Same
know I
here.
will be.
So Hellfire Club, don't go in unless you're a member, because otherwise you'll
Yep.
get killed. You'll be told to get out.
They were probably yelling at Zach.
Probably.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
That guy's so dramatic.
All right. Next. Next.
Number 2, I'm not crazy.
Well, that can be
The
debated.
Village Salon is part of a set of historic buildings that stand in the heart of Grand Cane, Louisiana. Back in the 1800s, the set of buildings once served as a barber shop and even functioned as a courthouse that managed small fines. Employees of the salon have reported several instances where they've witnessed poltergeist activity on the premises. They would constantly see moving items, electronic devices turning on and off, clothes hampers being flipped, and more. Amy, who's the owner of the salon, says she doesn't feel threatened by the spirit or hauntings, and even nicknamed the presence, calling her Brenda. A set of paranormal investigators conducted research there and said they did feel as if they were not alone. For the first few minutes after starting, they audibly heard the sound of what seemed to be a marble falling and rolling on the floor, but when they looked, they couldn't find anything or see any object. Moreover, they captured what seems to be a very clear EVP of a female saying, "I'm not crazy." EVPs, or electronic voice phenomena, are often classified in different ways depending on how audible they are. This particular one is in Class A because it's so crisp and one of the clearest EVP recordings you'll hear.
I'm not crazy.
But different people and different stages of
I'm not crazy.
It sounds like she's saying, "Tell them I'm not crazy."
Yeah,
Right.
I thought
Yeah.
that too.
Yeah. So
I wonder if there's someone in the history of the place that when they tell stories about that place, they say she was a nutcase or she was, Looney Tunes, where it could have been she's saying, "No, I'm not. I wasn't crazy.
Yeah,
I
that's
probably,
it.
it was probably one of those people that, they disagreed with their husband or, something stupid where they got called crazy by someone for that back in the day."
What do you think, Rhonda?
I agree. Well, it could be that, but it also made me just, I don't know. It almost felt like too it could have been them kind of speaking within the spirit realm to other spirits that might be there. Like, I'm not crazy. These people are talking to us.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
yeah, that too. Where they're like, "Oh, I'm not crazy. Those are actual people, and they're having a conversation, trying to get us to talk to them."
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Okay.
you gotta think because. All right, who is a dog?
Your opinion is valid, puppy.
I mean, look at it to the point from if someone comes up to us and goes, "I heard a ghost," and you're like, "No, you didn't," they're probably saying the same thing too.
Yeah, because when we go into a building asking if anybody's there, we have to wonder how they see us.
Mm-hmm.
Like, do they see us as the weird people walking into the building, or do they see us as the ghosts? And they're like, "I'm seeing something that I'm not used to seeing. What is this?"
Right.
Have you guys seen the movie The Others?
Yep.
Yeah,
I think so.
Yes.
Yeah,
I'll have to watch
it's kind of like that where they're the people, the ghosts thought they were living.
Yep.
But then and then these people move in and they think they're ghosts. It was just a weird. It's like seeing it through a ghost point of view.
Was that the one with Nicole Kidman where her daughter started acting strange and then things started happening and she thought her daughter was possessed and the house was haunted and it turns out they're the ghosts?
They didn't realize they were dead.
Yeah. They didn't realize that they were the ghosts.
Mm-hmm.
That'll be a good one to watch.
That was a good movie. So definitely a recommend from the Freaking Awesome Paranormal Show. Let's see, 2 more left.
but different people and different stages of
Number 1.
Oh, one more left.
Get Out. Help Us.
Queen Mary.
One of the most famous haunted ships ever known is that of the Queen Mary.
CJ,
it was first built in the 1930s and is larger in size when compared to the Titanic. Throughout its history, it served as a transport luxury liner and even a World War II ship before it was eventually retired. Over the years, the Queen Mary has seen countless deaths. Some of the more famous ones include that of John Henry, who was a young man that died when he was trampled to death after trying to flee a fire. It's said that various bright lights and knocking can be heard in the engine room, and that this is believed to be John. Meanwhile, in the pool area, several guests and investigators have seen the apparitions of a little girl who unfortunately died while sliding through the banister when a wave upset her course and she ended up breaking her neck. Her ghost is said to haunt the area, and she wanders around looking for her doll and mommy. In addition, 2 other women died in the same area, and guests also regularly see them. One of the most brutal deaths, though, was that of a cook who was murdered because the troops didn't like the meals he prepared. He was stuffed inside the oven and burned alive, and his desperate screams can still be heard to this day.
Okay.
I've
That
not
makes
heard
that is
that
kind
story.
that is okay. I'm kind of like, why if the troops did not like the meals he served, so they stuck him in an oven and cooked him?
Yeah, they wouldn't do that.
No.
I'm calling bullshit on this one.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. I did hear a story again on Ghost Adventures about a cook that was or maybe a prisoner that was cooked that was thrown into a pot in the West Virginia penitentiary.
Yep, that one
That
did
makes
happen.
more sense than the troops
Yep.
cooking a shit. That doesn't. Yeah, I'm going.
I'd call
Yeah.
BS on that story.
I don't think
I'd
that
also call
actually
BS
happened.
on Jackie, the little girl in the pool, because there's no history of a little girl dying.
No. They
In the
have
ship's
seen a little
kitchen.
girl at the other pool.
Today, the Queen Mary
Right.
Yep.
But there's no proof that
is
she's ever
permanently
died there.
decommissioned and has been transformed into a hotel and museum, with ghost tours available for those willing to brave the haunted vessel. And indeed, ghost hunters and paranormal investigators report
That right there is the clearest ghost I've ever seen. Right there. Look at that picture. That is oh my
so
gosh,
authentic.
man. Yeah, it is. That's awesome.
Reminds me of the picture that goes around on Halloween every year with a Kleenex with eyes on it, put onto a piece of tape and hung on the desk. A real ghost caught on tape.
Ghost
Yep.
caught on tape. Yeah, that's funny.
that a multitude of apparitions and sightings have been seen throughout. In one instance, they caught an EVP when the American Paranormal Research Association searched through the first-class pool area and captured the voice of a girl saying, "Get out and help us." As mentioned, the pool area is notoriously haunted.
Okay, which is it? Does she want them to get out, or does she want them to help her? So make up your
You
mind.
get
You
out.
want me to? Yeah.
Is it possible something bad happened there and she's repeating the same scenario over and over again, trying to
Right.
warn other people to stay out of the area, but yet the people that are in danger of that situation repeating over and over again need help?
Yep.
That's probably what it is.
There we go.
Or they just don't know what they want.
And guests have repeatedly seen, felt, and heard apparitions in the area. What's interesting about this one is that the investigators actually hear the voice in real time, which sounds like a young girl.
Come closer.
So I just way she says it, it's like get out. Like it doesn't sound like it sounds.
It
I don't know,
sounds
maybe-
sing-songy. It sounds like a little kid
Yo.
playing a joke.
Yeah, and
Yep.
did anybody else hear it get out twice? Because I heard it say, get out.
Yep.
Get out.
Yeah, yeah, get out.
Yep.
Yeah, that was
Like somebody walked into the room on her and she's like, "Oh my God, get out of the room. Leave me alone."
Right.
yeah, and I didn't really hear "Help Us."
That one was.
I
that
heard
was
it.
up
It
to
was,
interpretation.
I can hear it, but yeah, it doesn't.
it was
I don't
faint.
know. That one's.
Yeah, it didn't sound like very like
Yeah.
I don't know urgent. for them to
Like
get
maybe someone
outdoors. It's
just needed help with something, and she was like, "Will you guys help us with this? You're standing right there."
Yeah.
So I've been on board. My dad and I went and toured it, and I've actually experienced two of the sightings. One of the sightings was in the engine room in one of the watertight doors. They were doing a test one day. I think it was in the 30s or 40s, or it might have even been the 50s. But they were doing a test, and they were bringing down the watertight doors, and that was all done by flipping a switch up in the bridge. But usually the firefighters and the guys down there had a game to see how many times you could get between compartments before the watertight door came down, and a firefighter got crushed to death.
Oh yeah, that's right. I remember you telling that story.
And I felt him there, and I felt like he knew he kind of messed up. And he was feeling sorry for goofing around when it was serious. And then the other one was in the propeller room. If you ever go there, the tour takes you back to where the aft pool was, which is in the back of the engine room. And what they have done is they've actually cut 2 holes in the side of the ship, and they made this room that went over where the holes are, and it's got a walkway. You go out one way, kind of loop around, and basically what that walkway loops around is the ship's propeller. And then during World War II, the Queen Mary, when she was troop ship, accidentally cut in the path of a British destroyer, the USS Curacao, or the HMS Curacao, and cut that destroyer in half. And unfortunately, because the Queen Mary was at speed, she went through all the guys that were in the water, and unfortunately chopped a couple guys up. And they have a light system down in the water shining on the propeller, so you can see the propeller. And my dad was with me. I saw a couple of guys down there, and I didn't say anything to my dad because I didn't know if he knew anything about ghosts or would feel weird about it. But I just I had a creepy feeling, and as soon as I saw them, I walked out back into the ship, and yeah, it was interesting.
That's awesome. Well, guys, that was a fun show. I enjoyed listening and reviewing these EVPs with you. Yeah. I could probably do some more if my chair wasn't so uncomfortable. But yeah, my body's like, yeah, you got to get up. If I can get up,
calling me.
I might just kind of fall out the chair right now.
I've done that.
Just sleep on the floor.
Crawl your way to bed.
CJ and Rhonda, thank you for joining us.
Ladies.
I know Rhonda will be on the show with us next week. We've got Elizabeth Conley, Luna, and her boyfriend coming on. I can't think of his name. Nolan, that's right.
Mm-hmm.
So we're having a paranormal free for all next week.
Nice.
Thank you, Paranormal, for watching us. Really appreciate it. All topics. We're gonna go way deep into the woo. We're gonna go all the way, like leprechauns, fairies.
Yes.
We're gonna go all over the place next week, and then the week after that, we have the freaking awesome Christmas show. So after that, we don't know. So we'll see what happens. But again, thank you guys for coming on. CR, what do you have coming up on my mind with CJ and CR?
We actually don't have anything on the books for the rest of the year. I think we've kind of earned a little bit of a rest, but we are working on something. CJ, you want to kind of handle that and tell them the idea that we're working on?
I have two for us, actually, because I just realized something the other day that I think we'll get. It'll be easy for me to do it because it's someone that I consider to be one of my own family members that we'll be speaking to. But the first one is my friend Daniel. Him and his father have been doing research on Jack the Ripper. And guess who their main suspect is?
I don't
Famous
know.
author. Famous author.
Arthur Conan Doyle. No, I don't know.
Mhm.
Is it really?
Yep.
Oh, well, there you go.
The evidence is fitting. Yep, very much so. In fact, when Arthur Conan Doyle got his doctorate degree, Jack the Ripper sent in the Dear Boss letter, and it said, "They call me doctor now."
Ooh.
And his handwriting and the way that Arthur signed his letters and the way that Jack the Ripper signed those letters, exact same way. He never changed his signature. He would sign it Jack, but he would put the same line at the very end that Arthur put on his letters.
Mm-hmm.
The handwriting is a match, and the way that Ripper chopped up his victims and cut into them is exact way that Arthur was taught how to do it in school. He was in fact taught under very dark lighting. The professor would take them into a darkly lit room and teach them how to cut into the bodies that were in the morgue. He would teach them how to do it under low light circumstances.
I feel.
And the cuts were very surgical, as if a doctor had done them.
A lot of people think that it was H.H. Holmes because there are some gaps there.
Yeah, there's no MO to follow H.H. Holmes at all. In fact,
Right.
there was no DNA. The person who started that story, that was BS. There was no DNA left behind.
Mm-hmm.
Ripper would have worn gloves, so he wouldn't have gotten his DNA all over the place.
Right.
Again, like a doctor wearing gloves during a surgical procedure. But no, H.H. Holmes would kill people, and then he would steal their insurance money, and he would basically take whatever they had after he tortured and murdered them. He did it for the torture. The reason that we also think that it's Arthur Conan Doyle was because Doyle's father had what was that disease called that people said they got from prostitutes back then? Syphilis, yes. And for some reason, Doyle believed that he may have genetically inherited it from his father. So he was taking medication all the time to try and stop the syphilis virus that he thought he had, because there are some medicinal background scientific research that says, yes, you can in fact inherit it genetically from a family member. It's rare, but it'll happen.
Yeah.
And he said he thought his father was out messing around with prostitutes, so he developed a hatred for prostitutes.
Oh.
So we're going to put together that mystery.
That's a good tease right there.
Yeah. So
yeah.
So Daniel's published 2 books now. One is what's it called again? Something about like the mysterious case of Dr. Doyle or something like that. And the second one is called Doyle's World Lost and Found. So.
And what was the second show idea?
The second one is with my uncle Scott Wolter.
Okay.
And he is a
I
Templar
love his
researcher.
show. Is that the America Unearthed?
Yes.
Or I watch his show religiously. I want to have him on this show. Talk to him. I used to watch.
Well, that'll be easy because I talk to him every day of the week. So
I would. Yeah, definitely. That would be.
If you want him, I can get him for you. That's no problem.
You're in.
That would be.
Yeah.
That would be.
Yeah, he's a 32nd degree Mason in Anoka, Minnesota, and he and I both are descendants of the Knights Templar, the original order from the 1100s. So both of us are descended from Grandmasters.
That's awesome.
He's a Sinclair Templar. I'm a Tremblay descendant. Templar descendant. So both of us had a Grandmaster in the family. His was part of the voyage to Nova Scotia to meet up with the Mi'kmaq, and mine died in battle in the 1100s. So, but yeah, he's written the books. He has a new book coming out in the spring. And that will be about whether or not there is a connection to Oak Island with the Templar.
Oh,
cool.
See, I never thought about
Very
that.
cool.
But that's a possibility.
Yeah, there's not. As far as I've heard from him, there's not. If there was, it's a possible decoy location. But he has a lot to say on that island because he knows quite a bit about what's going on. He's been there and dug there before. So he'll have some stuff to say about that. And when his new book comes out, my website that I run for him, my Facebook page I run for him, is going to be updating on the book release.
Cool.
So
That's
we should
awesome,
be
guys.
getting, yeah. So I should be able to hook something up with him. I want to do it closer to February because I think he said he's getting ready for his book to be released in February.
Sure.
Okay, cool. Maybe we can do like maybe you can have him on your show, then you have him on my show. We can talk about his book.
Or we could get together and do a group thing so we can hit it all at once.
Good.
There we go. All right.
We could do that. Yeah, definitely. I'll work that out with him and see what his schedule looks like. And because he said he wants to start doing more podcasts and stuff like that when it gets closer to his book being released, because then he'll be able to give out more information about the book rather than saying you'll have to wait until the book releases, because he doesn't want to release too many secrets from the book. Otherwise, why read it?
Exactly. You got to give them just a taste of what's in the book.
And boy, does he ever let you have it when he does. And then he'll hint at things. And you'd be like, well, tell us this, tell us that. And then he's like, you know, I can't do that.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, he's actually messaging me right now. So I'm going to talk to him about doing
Awesome. I
Yeah.
appreciate that. Rhonda, what do you have coming up?
We have
you?
on Sunday, it's going to be just open mic. It's going to be me and Howie and maybe a couple of the other hosts of the Riff Nation. So it's just kind of be open mic. We're just going to talk about whatever comes up. Then for FPRI, we don't really have any more investigations until New Year's weekend. We're doing a public investigation at Belgrove on Saturday the 30th, and then we'll be at Belgrove again, of course, for New Year's Eve. And then the whole FPRI team, as I found out on a group chat today, will be at the cabin on Saturday night.
Woohoo! Yeah, we've got our annual toy drive at the cabin on 360 on Saturday night. So I'm super excited to have everybody back out there. We were actually we had Ghosted Magazine out at the cabin last week. Me, Dennis, and Howie were interviewed for the magazine, so it should be out here soon. It's for the January issue. But I think they said the article will be on the website here within next week. So
sweet.
Check out Ghosted Magazine. They're really nice people, really great guys. And it was really fun to talk to them. And then, of course, on Saturday, we've got our toy drive. Sounds like there's going to be a good crowd out there. I'm very excited to see everyone. And we might do some lives while we're out there, so keep an eye out for that. Other than that, as far as stuff at the cabin, this is our last investigation until I don't know when. So we might have a fundraiser for a young family lost their child to leukemia. I was just trying to figure out when to have the fundraiser because the weather is so screwy around here in January. It's tough to,
Yep, January and February around here, you just have no idea if we're gonna have 2 feet of snow or it's gonna be 70 degrees.
Plus, I mean, no one wants to go out into the woods for 2 or 3 hours when it's 30 degrees outside.
Right.
Which I realize is probably like 80 for you up in Minnesota, but down here, you'll be out there in shorts.
60 tomorrow. How
weird
is
it's supposed to be in the 50s and 60s going on into the weekend.
Jeez, guys.
Yeah.
I thought you were cold. It's like in the 30s down here.
Supposed to be, but this is a weird year.
El Nino.
Yeah.
Oh man. All right, guys. Thank you again for joining us
Yeah.
tonight on the Freaking Awesome Paranormal Show. We'll be back here next week with Luna and Nolan.
Yep.
Same freaking awesome time.
Same freaking awesome channel. All right, guys. Good night.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh my gosh.